Thanksgiving is around the corner, and we find ourselves once again at that situation where we have to look across the table at our family members who are not entirely on board with fighting fascism at this point and wonder, what could I possibly say to you to win you over? I don't know. I know that we're trying. We got to keep trying. We got to keep leading by example, being good people, doing good work, following Matthew 25 verses 36 through. I'm not, 31 through 46. I'm not even Christian, and yeah, I come ready to play though. Let's talk. Welcome back to Trent Takes On 2.0. I'm Trent from the title of the show. And this is a weekly podcast where I talk about, usually, I talk about current events, a lot of politics, a lot of things that affect us. Even if we don't realize that if they affect us, they do affect us. They affect us at a macro level. They affect us even at a micro level, depending on what the thing is. What's happened in the last couple weeks? Well, or the last week? Well, the Epstein files have been voted on to be released. The House passed at 426-1 because Clay Higgins is a D-bag. He's a representative from Louisiana who apparently is, he's just going to be who he is. Thorn in everybody's side. And then in the Senate, it passed by unanimous consent, meaning 100 to 0. Nobody dissented against it. So it went straight to the president's desk. Yeah. So he claims he signed it, but unlike every other bill he signs, which is like a big pomp and circumstance, a big hullabaloo, they do these giant signing ceremonies, and then he gives out the pens as, it's memorabilia from look at this important thing that I did. Not this time, pal. They do a big signing event for every executive order, all 4,000 of them he's signed so far. But not this one, because he's not happy about it. He's hoping it goes away. He's hoping that they can come up with some way to release super redacted versions or fail to release entirely, because remember, now they're going to be opening brand new investigations on the Democrats that are listed in the Epstein files, because Donald Trump demanded it on Truth Social, and whatever the Mad King says we have to do. And that's why Pam Bondi jumped right in and sent out an X post saying, we're on it, sir. I've got my best man on it in the Southern District of New York. Anyway, they're going to use that as a way to say, well, we can't give up the Epstein files because there's a new investigation underway. And hold on, I'm going to take off my jacket here. I'm wearing a windbreaker, and I think that I don't know, I can hear it moving around, and it's, I don't like it. So I can only imagine you probably heard it. I don't know if you did or not. I don't know how sensitive the microphone is today. Anyway, it's been, there you go, bare naked ladies. It's been, this Epstein thing is never going to go away until a lot of people have to face accountability for the things that they've done. And I just don't see a way around it. Nobody's going to be happy with, we can't release them for these technical reasons, or we can only release like these, 80,000 things because the other 220,000 things have people's names in them that we don't want you to read, Anyway, it's just been months of this. And like I said months ago. This doesn't go away. You can't make it go away. You can't pretend. You can't run on, we're going to release all this stuff. And when we're in charge, we're going to be transparent and we're going to show you the truth. And then when you are in charge, you turn around and go, no, there's nothing to see here. You can't do that. You can't do. Also, they really think we're stupid. Donald Trump sits there and he says, oh, this is a Democrat problem. These are every name in all of this is Epstein was a Democrat and all of his buddies are Democrats. And this is all you're going to do is find a bunch of Democrats in there. It's nothing but Democrats. Okay, then release the files. If we were to believe that, it's nothing but Democrats in the files, then you would have released them the instant that you knew about them. The instant. A president can declassify things just by thinking about it. Yeah, you, Mr. I can do whatever I want. Oh, except for this thing, I can't do this thing. I have to follow the rules on this one thing. I gotta do this right. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not expecting any serious traction on this anytime soon. I think that we're going to be revisiting this around Christmas time and throwing a fit because they still haven't done anything. That's my take on it. Apparently, they've got 30 days to comply. They're not going to comply. If he even signed it, I don't believe anything that this damn administration says anymore. They lie in court. They lied about the Comey case. They lied about Letitia James. They're lying. They've got the head of their Customs and Border Patrol / ICE nonsense, Greg Bovino, who is just like a little tiny Nazi. He just is. He's got this predilection. He's short. He's skinny. He's angry all the time. He has a predilection for long jackets. It's very reminiscent of the old SS. But he's lying on the stand in front of federal judges. Yeah, about what he's done. Yeah, there's photos and video, dude. Everybody's videoing everything you guys do. You can't pretend that these things aren't happening. You know? You're throwing tear gas at protesters for no freaking reason. You're firing rubber bullets at journalists for no reason. The response to people exercising their First Amendment rights to peaceably assemble is insane. It's insane. This guy deserves to be in prison, and he will be before it's all said and done. They'll scapegoat his ass. Probably Kristi Noem too. Just saying. The tide is turning, though. You know. It just like there's starting to be some people are finding a little bit of a spine here and there. They're finding a little, you know what? I don't necessarily want to be on board this ship as it goes down. You know, that's going to come more and more. And we also have this special election on December 7th, whatever. It's the first Tuesday in December, I think it is. Tennessee 7, where millions of dollars are being spent by the Republicans to fend off a Democratic challenger. Her name is Athlin. She has a strange first name. Athlin Hein? I don't know. Anyway, she seems great. She's a state assembly person there in Tennessee, and she's running for the U.S. House of Representatives in a Donald Trump plus 22 district. So if she were to be able to win that one, is the last name Hein? Hind. Well, that's going to bother me. I'm going to look it up later. Afton. Yeah. It's going to bother me. If she wins that one, all hell's going to break loose. Because even if it's close, to be fair, if a Trump plus 22 district is no longer safe, yeah, people they can't stop us from having elections. They can't, and they're gonna lose them. They're gonna lose. Because you can't continue to do incredibly unpopular stuff in a democracy and then turn around and go, yeah, we need more power. No. You can't ignore the Constitution. You can't ignore checks and balances. You can't ignore 250 years of attempting to distill the first promise of this country, which is that all persons are created equal, that everyone has certain unalienable rights. No, you can't hide all that. You can't just ignore all that stuff, and then you can't also ignore the basic needs of people, like failure to address the affordability issue, which is really coming home to roost. I think my personal take on it is that the Mad King is so determined to never have bad news delivered to him that everyone's scared of it. So he never has to hear bad news. So they're always just sycophantically replying to him, telling him what a great job he's doing, how great everything is. Everything's great out there. People love you. They tell him all the time, all of these lies about what's really happening, about what they want him to think is really happening. They just lie to him. They tell him everything is great, but it's not great, dude. It's dreadful. It's dreadful. You've done nothing but make everything horrible for 10 months. And I know it's only been 10 months. Oh, my brain. But the truth is the truth, and you can't hide it. You can't feed people turds and tell them that it's lobster. It doesn't work like that. You know, we know what's in our bank account. You can't tell us that this is the same exact thing that Joe Biden and his people did, that inflation wasn't that bad. Now, relatively speaking, they were correct. Compared to the rest of the world, our inflation was like completely under control. At the very least, inflation was up, but at the very least, under the Joe Biden administration, people's paychecks improved. A lot of places increased their minimum wages. A lot of places started paying better. A lot of jobs got better. And that lessened the pain of it, but it was still there. And the failure of the Biden administration to admit that, yeah, it's still a problem, and we're still trying to find ways to make it hurt less. We can't make the hurt go away entirely, but we can try to make it hurt less. And they did try to make it hurt less, but a Republican-controlled House of Representatives really screwed them for extended periods of time. And then Donald Trump was reelected. Barely. They claim a mandate, so they've been doing whatever they want. They don't need Congress for shit. We're just going to do whatever we want. And the one thing that they did through Congress, the big ugly bill, is a big pile of shit that makes everything more expensive, that gives them incredible tax cuts, and huge tax cuts to billionaires and corporations, and very, very little crumbs to the rest of us. That was their plan all along. Cut services to the people who desperately need them, so that you can pay for even more tax cuts for the billionaires and the corporations. And they did that. Meanwhile, inflation is ticking back up. Jobs reports are shaky at best. They're actually bad. Donald Trump's approval rating is in the toilet. And he's lashing out at reporters, calling one female reporter Miss Piggy, Quiet Piggy, told her to quiet Piggy. Ridiculous. Utterly fucking ridiculous that an adult in this country in 2025 can have that kind of response to somebody trying to do their job. You gotta be fucking kidding me. You're supposed to lead by example, you son of a bitch. Ridiculous. Disrespectful bullshit. Then he called another woman in the Oval Office insubordinate for asking a question of Mohammed bin Salman about the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. She doesn't work for you. She can't be insubordinate to you. You are not her subordinate. You are an elected political figure. And she is a reporter who works for some media outlet. I don't even remember who it was. ABC? It was ludicrous. It was a ludicrous exchange. And then, to top it all off, my favorite part of the last week was Donald Trump hosting a black tie dinner for Mohammed bin Salman, and he invited all the American oligarchy, all the billionaires, Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and that Ellison dude. All of them were there. All of them are there with Donald Trump, the Mad King, and MBS, and they're wearing their tuxedos and they're eating their super fancy food, all the while just ignoring what's going on in the rest of the country. And here we are, a week away from Thanksgiving. 6 days now. 6 days away from Thanksgiving. And these people are so out of touch. This regime is so out of touch. They think that they're so untouchable. They could do absolutely anything they want, and there's never going to be any repercussions for it. I've talked about this before. Let them eat cake, right? They're just disconnected from what's really happening, and they always have been. For the record, you can't expect somebody who was born a millionaire in whatever year it was, 1940 something, 46. This old bastard. He was born a millionaire. His parents were rich. He was born into this money, born into wealth, born on third base, and thinks he hit a triple. He pees in golden toilets. He talks about groceries like it's a brand new invented thing. Dude has never shopped for his own groceries in his life. In his entire life. Almost 80 years. He's never had to sit down and balance a checkbook because, you know, you're living paycheck to paycheck and you got to make sure that all your utility bills will go through at the right time. He didn't know anything about being a regular person. Not a damn thing. And now he's been elected president for the second time, and he's using the office just like he did the first time to enrich himself. So that's the thing. No other person has ever held that office and utilized the office to enrich himself. And I have to say him because we've never had a female president because you people are sexist as fuck out there. I shouldn't say that. That's not fair. The people who listen to this show are probably not sexist at all. You're probably just like me. Thinking, it's about time the women get a chance. This is ridiculous. Actually, there's an episode of this show called Women Should Be in Charge. And I stick by that. Donald Trump is the worst. He represents the worst of us. The worst of the 7 deadly sins, they're all right there. He's greedy. He's gluttonous. He's slovenly. He's... My favorite, he's full of wrath. He hates everybody that doesn't kiss his ass and tell him that he's the greatest thing ever. Hey, tough toots. You suck, dude. You don't care about anyone. He is envious of everyone who has ever been recognized for being excellent, while he's not, because in his mind, he's the greatest. Delusional. On top of everything else. As we approach Thanksgiving, we have to come to grips with some stuff. I don't want to live in a fascist regime. I don't want my kids to grow up in a fascist regime. I think Stephen Miller is the fucking devil. Just the devil. I think Pete Hegseth is an out of control drunk who cannot believe his own bullshit. There's just no way. Kash Patel is basically using the FBI as his podcasting platform, I guess. What is this guy doing? Flying around to visit his girlfriend everywhere? Lives in Vegas, works in DC, has to fly on the secure FBI jet. He really likes it. Flies all over the place. The same jet that he used to scream about Chris Wray taking here and there when he was just a podcaster. Hypocrisy is the rule of the day with this regime. Pam Bondi is a fucking joke as Attorney General. She doesn't even believe in the rule of law. Let's just be honest. She doesn't care. She believes that whatever the Mad King says is law, and that's just not the way any of this is supposed to work. It is exhausting keeping up with all this stuff. So if you don't keep up with all this stuff, there's something you could be thankful for, to be honest, because you probably have a better stockpile of energy than I do, because man, I'm worn out between my dog being sick and raising kids and fighting the good fight out there. Man, I'm tired. Oh, by the way, catch No Plan, No Problem, my other podcast that I do with my buddy George. It's not as heavy as this, and honestly, interesting and fun. It really is. I'm not blowing smoke. He's probably better at this than I am. I just look around and think, we know that we're sick of this, right? The majority of people, the democracy itself, the majority is sick of this crap. We're sick of it. We're sick of the ICE raids. We're sick of a secret police that isn't accountable to anybody. We're sick of the mass deportations for no fucking reason. We're sick of the bombing of boats in the Caribbean with no proof that they're not even combatants. No matter what, you don't have the right to just summarily commit murder to those people, even if they're bad guys. You don't have that right. We are not at war with those people. Those are not agents of a nation that we are at war with. You don't get to do that. That is an illegal order. Now, here we go again. A bunch of Democratic senators and congressmen who are former military and military intelligence have come out and said, hey, if you are in the military or in the Secret Service or, in the CIA or FBI right now, you have an obligation to refuse to follow an illegal order. And that's just a fact. That's just a fact. And in response, the Trump regime is screaming that these people are traitorous and that those are words of sedition and that they should be jailed for treason and murdered, killed for that. Are you fucking kidding me? The same people who threw an absolute shit fit about the rhetoric being too high over us saying they were fascists and that getting Charlie Kirk murdered are screaming at the top of their lungs right now, to murder these Democratic senators and congressmen for having the balls to stand up and go, hey, guys, here's a fact. You owe an oath to the Constitution. You owe an oath to the nation. And you owe there's a thing called the Military Uniform Code of Justice. You have to follow that. You can't follow illegal orders. That's not even freaking debatable. You can't kill civilians. That's not even debatable. Yet they're screaming, Stephen Miller ranting like a fucking maniac. Like a hyena with rabies, frothing at the mouth on Fox News, talking about sedition and how these people are in open rebellion against the president. What the fuck? Did you miss January 6th? I watched it from my bedroom. I wept as I saw the country, the only country I've ever known, be torn apart by a bunch of fucking maniacs. That was an insurrection. This is duly elected representatives of American citizens pointing out facts, reminding people that they have a duty to refuse an illegal order. And we want it that way, Stephen Miller, you crazy fuck. And whatever the Mad King says is not law. That's not how any of this works. There's a whole lot of shit that we don't want, that the majority of us are sick of. We're sick of the tariffs. We're sick of the way this ridiculous Congress works. We're sick of him fucking with voting. Everything from demanding our voting rolls so that they can, I don't know, imprison Democrats for no reason, because that's on the list of shit to do. They're going to purge the voter rolls at the last second. They're going to redraw districts in an attempt to hold on to power. We're sick of all this shit. None of this happened under Joe Biden. None of it. Inflation was up, but it was up around the world. So it wasn't like a thing that we caused or was all our fault. And for those who are like, well, they spent too much money, they gave too much stimulus. Well, the rest of the world had equal or worse inflation. Did they do the same thing? Or did our stimulus cause inflation around the world, which seems fucking insane? Help me understand. I guess I'm just not smart enough. None of this happened under Joe Biden. We were able to go to sleep every night and thinking, at least we're in good hands. We're in safe hands. He might be an old dude. He may not have all of his shit together, but at least he's surrounded by good people and they're all trying to do good things for us. They're not trying to enrich themselves. They're not trying to complete a takeover of power to the point where they never leave office, which is what we're seeing right now. We should be outraged. And if you're listening to this pod, especially 27 minutes in like you are right now, you are outraged. You share my pain. You share my frustration. You share my anger. Thank you, by the way. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate everybody who comes on this journey with me, because this is part of my therapy. And hopefully I can be part of yours. The old anger translator sketch from Key and Peele. That was good stuff, by the way. Thanksgiving's right around the corner, and we're going to sit down with our families, and we're either going to have uncomfortable silences or fights, because the cult never undoes the cult stuff. It's always a cult. They can't admit when they're wrong. They can't admit they've gone too far. I don't know. I don't know how to handle it. All I know is I try to be chill because, well, let's just say that it's not actually my blood family. If they were my blood family, I would probably have a different take. More aggressive. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be polite. I'm trying to be nice. But at the same time, I feel like we're past the part where we're supposed to be nice. And not by a little, by a lot. When you watch the evening news, when you hear the stories of what this Department of Homeland Security is doing in the name of securing the homeland, deporting people, hurting people, injuring protesters, ignoring the law. I don't know, that's pretty bad. The tariffs, the holding up of funding for projects, the holding up of funding for schools, it's for universities. It's just all arbitrarily done. All done by one person because it just doesn't like it. Doesn't feel like following the law. Fuck it. It's a difficult time. I say that every week. These are dark days. But the tide is turning. When you look at the polling, in the best case scenario, he's 14 points underwater. The worst case scenario is in the mid-20s underwater. I think it was 26 was the AP. Favorable, unfavorable. People don't like this shit. This is not the way America is supposed to run. It's supposed to run on Duncan. No, it's supposed to be smooth. It's supposed to be by the book. It's supposed to be by the laws and the rules. We entrusted these people to that, and they give an oath to fulfill the laws of this land to the best of their ability. But that oath didn't mean anything to any of these people. When the worm turns, and when Dems are back in power, when the righteous are back in power, I don't care if it's Dems or whatever, accountability needs to come down like a ton of bricks on every one of these people who have endangered our future. And I understate that a lot. Endangered our future is really a horrible understatement. Our future is in dire, dire straits because these people only care about the moment, and they only care about power, and they only care about money, and they only care about staying in power. They only care about making more money. They don't care about the people. They don't care about the future. They don't care about children. They don't care about the planet. They don't care about anything except themselves and their power and their money. That's it. So this Thanksgiving, I'm going to be thankful that I'm on the right side. I'm going to be thankful that I'm on the side of my kids. I'm thankful that I'm on the side of a future where people actually do have a chance at freedom, liberty, prosperity. This is my country too. It's my country too. And it's yours. Unless you're one of my, I do have a lot of listeners from other places. I have listeners in Germany and Australia and I got one, at least one in Africa that listens pretty regularly, to which I say, wow, that's incredible. Several listeners in Europe, like I said, Australia, got some listeners in Mexico. Most of my base is here in the U.S., and I appreciate you. A lot of this is U.S. centric. A lot, all of it. That's where I am. That's what I talk about. I'm thankful that I'm on the right side. And so are you. On that, I am going to check out for the day. I've got a whole bunch of stuff I have to do. I got to take care of my dog. I got to go pick up my kids from school. It's going to be a day. It's already been a day. I had to fix my coffee table. My gosh. And I recorded with George earlier. I've been busy. So I'll be back next week. I want to thank you all. Thank you all so much for listening, for sharing this with each other, with friends, for being a part of what will eventually be this thing's going to catch on. I swear it's going to catch on huge. And suddenly I'm going to get a call from Spotify, and they're going to be like, what do you look like? So can we put you on a video pod? We're going to give you money. And I'm going to say, I look like a 50-year-old Santa Claus right now. So let's do this. Thank you all so much. I'll be back soon, and keep up the good fight. And remember, it's your Thanksgiving too. Okay? Be good humans. It's the very least we can do. Love you.